So thanks, Masters, for joining, and we will be reviewing one interesting topic. Then we will join a couple of things along with it, including water part, which is the next, you can say, the connection. And then you will understand how they are linked. And that is the one of the main thing. Now, there is one element which really impacts us a lot. I know we talked about prana, but in Chinese traditional TCM, like traditional Chinese medicine, we talk about meridians. Now, meridians, prana, as a concept, yes, it is something that is similar, means we say we have nadis in our Ayurveda, and in Chinese, we are talking about meridians. Now, what are these meridians and what does it do? That is something that we can learn step by step. Now, the best part about this is, again, this is something which is actually, it's a very in-depth topic. However, it's up to us how detailed we want to get into. So our aim here is, Masters, just to get into the concept, to understand the concept, and then we will see that, okay, how does it really impact us? If we understand that, then we understand and develop trust. And once you develop trust, then it's easier to work with these concepts. Now, there are different masters who are really, you can say, guru of meridians, who can give you not only information, but also some help in terms of if you have any issue or condition in the body. Yes, they can, go over and give you some solutions. Here, what we are trying is just first get into simple concept. There are certain things that we say we do on daily basis, but we really do not know the connection, and different elements may have different connections. So that's what we are trying to do, just find the connection, that how different things can really impact us. So, Masters, this is something that we will look into today. So let me start, and I will share my screen. I will keeping this topic very simple, so not going in detail, because there is a lot we can talk about this concept of meridian, but there are some certain things which we will certainly talk about. Now, meridians, before we start the information that we will be sharing today, some of it, the PowerPoint has been taken from the University of Florida, and this is something that you will see that how what we say prana or Chinese say ki, same thing. Like we say, there are 72,000 nadis, 36 on the left, 36,000 on the right, what we call Ida and Pingla. So the prana flows through the body, and that's the reason we do meditation. Meditation, like when we do meditation, we intake lots of cosmic energy that flows in our body. And we say wherever it finds the blockage, it starts working on it. So what's happening here when this flow of energy is taking place? Flow of energy is basically nourishing every cell in our body, every tissue, every organ, every gland, like you can imagine right from your pituitary, pineal gland, all the way from master gland to everything. That means this is a life force. So this one is something that is like a river flowing. That means this flow of energy really gives us, you can say like that's the engine of our body. Now, when we are talking about either meridians or whether we say nadi system, can we really see? Is it physical? So no, it is not. It is not like blood flowing through our vein. It is something which is imaginary. So if we go back thousands of years, right? You can only now imagine how the people came up with this concept, how the people drew this map, if we call it that, okay, where are these energy flow paths, because they are invisible. So it is something which is you cannot see. That means you have to experiment. Now, we will get into the detail of meridians because there are 12 meridians. And you may have heard the name yin yang. So it's 6 pairs. So total there are 12, 6 pairs. So it's a combination. And that's why it's in pairs, which we will also see. Now, these organs which are in pair, and of course there is a reason why they are in pair, and there is a lot of detail, the way the energy flows, the functioning of the organ. So here, if we really see these 12 meridians, you can see lung and large intestine. This is one pair. The next one comes stomach and spleen, heart and small intestine, bladder, kidney, pericardium and triple wormer, and then gallbladder and liver. So these are the 12 meridians. These are paired, and it is not paired based on somebody's liking or this. There's a technical factor which is based on the energy flow. So energy is flowing from one to the other. Now, when we talk about energy blockage, like when we say in meditation, it will start working wherever there is a blockage, it will try to fix it. So you can keep this in mind. This is the path. So it is not that from lungs, say for example, energy will go directly to bladder or kidney. It follows certain path. Now, why it is so important? It is basically, suppose when we do chakra meditation, or if you are having issue in your body, you want to focus one particular part of your body in your meditation, you want maximum energy to go there. Understanding these concepts help us in understanding the situation in our body naturally without getting into the surgery or allopathy and all that. So can we make certain things that if we understand how our body functions, we can either avoid certain things, which is the best way, right? If we cannot avoid, then at least can we handle it better without any external chemicals and so. So like, you may have heard that, as a user manual, concept that, okay, anything you buy generally comes with a user manual, whether it's electronic system or something, there will be some instruction how to assemble the thing or how to use that particular gadget or equipment, whatever. But for our body, do we really understand how it functions? If we do not understand, then how are we going to maintain it? That means you just leave it, and then it's a factor of luck. But if we understand how it flows, then it helps in understanding. By understanding the body, and if we can understand where we are seeing symptoms, it is possible to see where it will be affecting. So wherever there is a blockage means there will be less energy after that point. And there will be kind of a pressure building up before that blockage. So this way we can kind of understand in the body that what's happening and where. If we understand, then obviously we can also understand how to fix it. Now, we may not go for all the meridians, but as a concept, if we really see, what does it mean? What does this, because it's all invisible. We just saw a body, human body, and all the meridians. So it looks like, a lot of lines, a lot of points going on. So if we really see meridians, it's like a whole map, and wherever you see major dots, those are the centers where you can see their key points. And if we look at the example of lung meridian, you can see it has those 11 points starting front of the shoulder and then running all the way, the end is in the nail and in your finger on your thumb, that as you see here, you can see it's going through your arm. Not necessarily lungs means it is just around the lungs. And this is the concept based on which a lot of equipments are built. Like we talked about BioWell before. Even that one is based on this, because you are scanning your fingers. And that's the reason, by scanning your fingers, it is giving you the status of that meridian or that particular organ. So, that's why we say, sometimes we talk of nadis. The people who are masters, who are trained in that, they can check your nadis and they will tell a lot about your health. And that's what Ayurveda is all about. So how do they know? Because this is the way the energy is flowing, and it is not that they are assuming certain things. They are trying to read what that energy is telling them. So here, if you see for the lung meridian, you are getting the information about lung. However, it is not just lung, it is going through the arms and going to the shoulder. If we are talking about the large intestine, so you can see that how it is, going all the way from your face to the neck, to the shoulders, and then ending up in one of your fingers. So different fingers will have different meridians ending there. Similarly, we are talking about stomach meridian. So you can see different meridians have different paths. Now, meridians are going in the front of the body and also the back of the body. Some are the front or some are at the back. And in this case, you can see a section of it is from the face, the front side, and then some going all the way through your chest area and all the way to the legs. This is after research of, years or generations, the thousands of years ago, whether it's traditional Chinese medicine or Indian Ayurveda, they were aware of these concepts and they could have a sense of how the energy flows. So what it tells us that it is not the organ. So if sometime we say, oh, this part is paining, and we think that the problem is there, may not be. If it is muscle or sometimes it's a fracture, obviously where the heart is, that's where it's gonna pain. But when it comes to these organs and all, it is really complicated system. So those who are aware, those who are trained in this, they can really analyze and assess. This is one simple thing which can really tell that, okay, what is the root cause? Otherwise, we are either hit and trial or we jump into conclusion very soon. Now, this is one thing which is, again, available on Google. You can just, search for TCM, organ meridian clock, or there will be different styles or different information in different ways. But the important part here is to understand that the complete 24 hours are divided for different meridians or different organs. Now, why it is important? Because like the beginning, we were talking about water, or it is also related to the food habits. It is related to your lifestyle. It is related to, what time you're sleeping, what time you're waking up, and then to your health. And this will help us in understanding how these are connected. So let's start. If we say we start here at lung meridian, right? So the timing for lung meridian is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. That means this organ will have maximum functioning or the energy between 3 and 5 a.m. Now, if you go for large intestine, which is, you see it is paired, lung and large intestine. So it comes right after this, and this is 5 to 7 a.m. Followed by stomach and spleen. And you see this goes to 7 to 9, 9 to 11. So here you can see the sequence, timing, from early morning all the way. You will see this clock is telling you at what time our body is busy in doing what. Now, liver is a very important organ. I mean, all organs are important, but liver, because of, we talk of toxins and whatnot. So 1 to 3 a.m. is the time. Now imagine somebody regularly sleeps late. And if you are not resting, if you are not taking proper care of yourself, if your sleeping hours or waking up time is varying, whether due to travel or whether it's your, generally sometime in student life, we say, oh, come on, I study well in night, and anytime it's easier to work late and sleep late. And then what happens? You wake up also late. So when you sleep late, you are disturbing the rhythm. Your body and circadian rhythm, now there will be some mismatch. So if you are sleeping late, you are depriving the recovery of, say, gallbladder, liver, depending on what time you are sleeping. And sometimes you will see if you have, cough or any such thing, issues in the lung, generally you may feel that this is the time when you are having, cough or having some breathlessness or something like that. Now, this is the time when it is recovering. This is the time when most of the energy is. And that's why we say, hey, wake up in time, because that is the time to remove the waste from your body. Now, people who are getting up late because they're sleeping late. So now if you are getting up at 9, 10, 11 or noon time, the time for large intestine has gone, and you have still not remove the waste from there. So your body is now not in sync with nature. The organs which were supposed to recover if you sleep proper time, they are not getting proper energy. And then the organs which early morning were supposed to recover, they are not getting their treatment because you are waking up late. This understanding, which is a separate topic, but just to give you a hint, also tells you what kind of emotions you can expect with which pair. So when we are talking of lungs or large intestine, you will see the grief. You will see here fear associated with kidney and bladder. So different ways, different emotions, again, based on the energy, they are attached to different pairing. You will see anger attached to, say, liver and gallbladder. So these kind of information tells you that how you can analyze yourself, your nature. And based on the emotions, most of the time you are having, because you can judge that. 3 days to a week is a very good time. If you really analyze and you jot down what kind of emotions are repeatedly coming in my, day-to-day life. And you start writing them down, very soon you will see a pattern. Sometime either we don't want to see or we fail to recognize our habits, our behavior, and we miss that. But when we are writing it down that, okay, today in 24 hours, this was the case. I was feeling like this, or I did this. And when you see repeatedly, you will see, oh, okay, I have anger issue, or I'm always fearful, or there is a grief in my, life. And then you can see what's happening, where the gap could be, or where you can have some improvement. Now, there is another very important thing here to understand how these meridians work. So what happens if you pick any pair, which is, say, lung and large intestine, let's take again. So they're also connected to diagonally opposite. So say, for example, lung is connected to whatever is diagonally opposite, which is bladder. And here you will see large intestine, the diagonal, if we see, so diagonally opposite will be kidney. So when we are trying to see the connectivity, you will see it like this. So what happens when there is an issue with the organ, say, for example, lung? If you fix it in time, means not too long, that you let the situation go on. If you fix the issue, fine. If not, it will go to the opposite side. So from lung, it can go to bladder. If it further continues, it will come, because it's the next pair is large intestine, then you will see the issue coming there as well. The more time the problem persists, now it becomes sometimes chronic issue and different kind of things. So this chart helps us in understanding that what could go wrong if this issue continues. Or the other way around, you can look at it. You can analyze that, yes, last 5 years, this was my lifestyle, or this is what my thought process was, this was happening. What did I do? How did, at least you will have a fairly good idea that, yes, this is what was happening. And then you can assess that, okay, what kind of symptoms your body is trying to tell you. Because body is smart. Body tells us. Sometimes we fail to acknowledge those messages that our body is telling us, or giving the messages, but we cannot acknowledge. So this way, when you see the interconnectivity of the organs, that how the energy flow goes from one to the other, what is the pairing and what's the opposite sides, what's the timing, and you can see that, okay, if I need to focus on my liver, if you are sleeping late, at least it will tell you right away that, okay, I must start sleeping in time. So small changes in our lifestyle can really bring us out from this, you can say, the health issues and whatnot. Now, also you will see, we talked about Panchbhutas, and you will see the connection to Panchbhuta in this as well. Right? So you will also see how they are connected to our Panchbhutas. Of course, this is Chinese, so that's why you will see the word or the metal, right? But otherwise, it is the same Panchbhuta, because ultimately we are all made up of 5 elements. Now, of course, the more in depth we go, the more we can make use of this. But again, that could be tricky in the sense that in general, if you have not heard about Meridian before, then yes. And this could be something which is totally new. But if we try to see this as like Nadi system that we are very familiar with, then it can help us. Now, when we know what issues we are kind of experiencing, and as we said that, okay, something may start with, say, lung, and it can go, if you see the urinary bladder, and that means you had the issue with lung, okay, if it has passed on to the other organ, and then from there it has also gone to, say, example, large intestine, now that means it is chronic. So we should start working or taking care of the lungs first, because that's where the problem started. And then we come to, say, for example, the bladder and then large intestine. So in the same order where the energy got impacted. And this kind of understanding really help us in keeping our health, you can say, the energy, without getting into allopathy or without getting into that dependency on medicine. Sometimes we jump directly and say, yeah, for anything and everything we take medicine. Well, then you have the side effect and you have the issues. But if we can fix our life with the understanding, then we can avoid a lot of things that subsequently we face. Now, we are not talking of solutions yet, but this is connected to all of it, which we'll take in a subsequent session. That, okay, based on Ayurveda, based on Panchabhutas or water that we were talking about, how and what you can do in order to, maintain your, you can say, optimum level of your body. That means optimum level of your life. That means the blissfulness, happiness, everything comes together because they're all interconnected. If you're not feeling good inside, obviously your day will not go good, and then your emotions, then your thoughts, and everything is linked, so everything gets affected. These small things, taking care, proper water, breathing, like we say, pranayama or yoga, how does it impact? We talked about earthing or grounding, right? And that's where the earth element comes, and you will see which organs you may see the impact directly or first. So once we understand this, then obviously it helps us in finding our own cure or getting close to the nature, getting close to the universe. So, masters, this was about Meridian. the energy flow and all. And yes, a very brief, without getting into kind of detail. So if you have any question, yeah, please feel free to ask. So back to you, Ashokji.
Thank you, Gaurav sir. Gaurav sir, what is the significance of these metal and autumn or late summer? So what is the significance of those?
So see, this is Panchbhuta when we say metal or wood, because you will see here fire, water, earth, but what you don't see is the other two. So you don't see the space. The Chinese are like we say, they don't say the sky or the space. So it is just a different name, and that's why you see metal and wood.
Oh, okay. And even you have those summer, winter, and
Right.
summer. What is that? Those means?
These are, if we go in depth in the way the traditional Chinese medicine work, then this is what they are linking it with this particular, you can say, the meridians. And like we were, like what we call our, sometime whether Indriya or our senses. So this is from that concept, that how they are attaching, say, the season and our senses and Panchabhutas, the time of the day. So in one chart, they have all that combined. So you can, like example, time-wise, we said, okay, if you have, like you can use information of the time and then say, okay, this is my lifestyle, how it's going to impact me, which organ will be impacted if at this time I'm not doing this, example like late sleep or wake up. Similarly, the weather or the season wise or Panchabhuta wise, that yeah, I'm not in touch with the earth like we were talking about, so where I can see the impact, or the air part. If you are not spending time outside, you're not getting fresh air or space, then you can imagine some impact on the wood or the metal in terms of Chinese. In our case, it will be. So this is a summarized version of that chart. Okay. And there are different charts. In some chart, you will see only one factor. And this, there is kind of a lot of it combined.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question, what is triple warmer?
Yeah, again, and this is something that when we get into the meridians, and that's where you get into, 1 second. Okay. These our organs, because there are certain things which you will see normally you may not be, but like others are straightforward in terms of our connectivity and knowledge wise. But yeah, when it comes to pericardium or triple warmer, this is where sometime the difference will be. But this is specifically about the meridian part.
Okay. Masters, anyone has a question? Yeah, you can please raise your hand and you can ask your questions. Yep, you are unmuted, Harita ma'am. Harita ma'am?
The question I have is, you said about small, large intestine and stomach. So you're saying that, like, usually they specify after specific time it's good to eat, right? Is that the stomach part we need to consider? Like, I did not, like the energy levels, I understand, but isn't that your stomach uses the energy levels during that time, something like that?
See, what it means is that because certain period is important for certain organ, now it does not mean the remaining time of the day is not important as far as the functioning goes. So for example, large intestine 5 to 7 a.m. So all it means is if our lifestyle is synchronized with circadian, kind of, the nature, you can say. So if you are waking up in time, freshening up in time, then your large intestine, you are, getting rid of all the waste in time or in the morning, rather than suppose you are waking up too late. Similarly, stomach 7 to 9, that means you are having breakfast at proper time, right? Because you have woken up after sleep, and obviously long sleep means that time stomach is empty, and now this is the time when you have your breakfast. It will have optimum level, right, functioning, and you can say a time when you are eating. So this is a guideline, you can say, how we can come or how we can synchronize ourselves with the nature. Like for example, if you really see, sometimes you go in the wildlife, right, and you will see dawn or dusk, right? So early morning, animals are out. Yeah,
Yes.
It is us who sometimes wake up at 12 in the noon and say, okay, now I'll have my morning breakfast. So it is, we have spoiled ourselves.
Yes, and usually we'll have like heavier lunch and heavier breakfast. I understand. That's why I'm like that. So from whatever I read, I think you need to have heavier breakfast and everything lighter.
Yeah, and again, this topic could be highly controversial because, again, depending, there are so many different thought process, and some will say don't eat breakfast, some will say do this, do that, different diet kinds of patterns. But the point is, what is nature? What nature has built us, and these different concepts explain by what we can be close to the nature rather than away from the nature. That's the whole point. Rest could be someone's personal opinion. The point is, the more closer we could be to the nature, that is the best thing.
Okay, got it.
This is the
the other thing I'm interested in is the lung one.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the allergies people are who usually it's not the time they usually cough. That's where I'm observing. So that's what surprises me. Usually allergies have, they say the lung is, you'll have less lung capacity and all that.
See, that part, I'm not sure if allergy means less lung capacity. There may be specific or something, but if it is generally, cough related, those people, you may see that they are having discomfort during 3 to 5 a.m. the most. If there is a blockage because of, congestion and that kind of situation. But again, consider a healthy person, right? So 3 to 5 is the time that lungs, it is optimum for lung. Let's consider this, right? Now, if I am a healthy person and I want to stay healthy, I should be doing whatever possible so that my lungs get the best treatment. What does it mean? Brahma Muhurta, right? People used to get up and people will always say, hey, Brahma Muhurat, you get up, you do yoga, you do pranayama. What is Brahma Muhurat? 3 to 5 a.m. So if we get up and do pranayama, that means breathing, deep breathing. I mean, in a very simple way, I'm saying deep breathing, right? But basically, what are we doing? We are helping our lungs. We are increasing our lung capacity by doing pranayama and all that. So 3 to 5 a.m., that is the reason we say early morning, wake up, do meditation, do pranayama. So that is what you get from this chart, that it is not just like that we say, get up early in the morning. There is you can say a scientific background, because it is scientific. There is a logic, there is a reasoning why early morning or Brahma Muhurat yoga, pranayama, meditation, why it is good for our health or our body in general.
Okay, thank you. That explains.
Welcome.
Yeah, Lakshmi madam, you are unmuted.
Yeah, thank you, Ashok sir, and thank you, Gaurav sir. Something which I really wish to share, basically my experience. The very chart, what you showed in the language of Chinese background, what really took me back is something which I did it for my own research purpose, for which went through basically for my own research means not for my personal, but as a research topic of my subject, which had caught me an eye, saying that your fingerprints can really help you diagnose there will be dental caries much before in children.
Mm-hmm.
So this was something which, okay, I understood that there could be a correlation, but does that really correlate? Because many studies came up, and when I looked into that research, a lot of things did happen before, which I was not aware. But yeah, it took me into a lot more, and I around about 600 plus students were evaluated by fingerprint reading, and then correlating with the existing research what we had, and what I could understand. Okay, there is a correlation that you have a fingerprints, and depending on what type of fingerprints in both the hands and your palm also has. Okay, I could not go beyond certain level because I'm not an expert in. Maybe I could have taken a help from an expert for reading the fingerprints, and definitively correlated with my dental caries or occurrence of dental caries in children. Now, this point is depending on what I could go back much more before is that embryogenesis. That means when the baby is forming within the womb, there are a lot of forces which are acting, and we call, even in a medical terms, we call this as a referred pain. What it actually shows, the diagonal, the adjacent things. Why we say this is because there is a lot of derivatives. Like, for example, if I have to give very simple example, that if you have problem in teeth, you will definitely have problem in your hair, you'll have problem in your nail. That is the derivative, what we say as ectoderm. And similarly, if you have an endoderm, and similarly you have mesoderm, so layers of the body, and more or less the derivatives what we show in that chart is similar to that. That means if I have, very commonly we ask, even in our history for with children, that if there is a pain in lower back teeth, there will be pain, could be a pain in ear, there could be a pain in nape, that is neck region, or temple region, that is your head. That's how we see, right? There is a heart, quenching of heart or a cardiac arrest. The pain is in little finger of the left hand. That means the pain is referred to that because they are derivatives when they are when the form, the germ layers are forming, the layers of the body is forming, they are derived from the same area, and the nervous system is the similar one. So the nerve distribution or meridian, whatever in language medical we say nerve, in Hindu script we say as nadis, or now it is meridians, all whatever we want to say, but there is a similar derivative and they are distributed by similar feeling, similar understanding. And that's the reason we align them and put together. That's one thing really, brought me all this. And the second thing, the body, the very body, what Gaurav sir described was the circadian rhythm. The body has a rhythm actually. Everything in our body has a rhythm. Even if I take my oral cavity, after I drink or eat, it takes almost 40 minutes back to reach. If I drink tea now, it takes almost 40 minutes back to come to the neutral state, that there will be no decay. That means every time I drink or eat something before even 40 minutes, that means there will be a lot of caries. If I have to really control my caries, that means I should not eat at least for 40 minutes and take a rest for it so that the body neutralizes itself. Because the moment you're eating, you're exposing your tooth or your mouth to certain acidic or alkalic conditions. So the very fact is that your body has a rhythm. Maybe any part of body you take, if you start analyzing, the very fact is it has a rhythm. And that's very beautifully in that chart given a rhythm, what is more dominant in a what part of your day. It is not that the other part of the day it is not. Even for example, I love this of taking example of thyroid, because many people, they pop in pill in the early morning. They're not asked to take any part of, because that's a time when your thyroid is more active and perceptive towards those medicines. And definitely when we want to work more towards the nature, it makes, definitely when everyone wants to avoid medications, definitely there's no doubt of it. So we need to really tune into this rhythm and tune it with the nature. That's how I understand. Yeah, thank you, Gaurav sir. Very beautifully you got this topic. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Lakshmiji. I really appreciate comment and the topics like what you brought. And talking about, since you touched this subject of, again, the rhythm. One experiment everyone can do just to see, to feel. Remember, we were talking about, do we really understand how the body functions? So if you just feel your breath, put a finger and try to feel. If not, you can block one and try to feel the intensity. You will feel that both the nostrils are not same. One is dominant. Whether left or right, depending on you. At right now, if you see, you will find one nostril, like if you're exhaling, like purposely from both, you will see, yes, there is one side more force than the other. Check after 54 minutes, less than an hour, around an hour, and you will see it has switched. If right now it is right nostril, you will see it has switched to the other one. So from right to left, left to right. So the body has all this mechanism, it makes one side go, more than the other. It balances it because the body is working 24/7. You're breathing, whether you're sleeping, or not, but you're breathing. So if we understand our body, there are a lot of things we can really help ourselves by not going against it. Because a lot of things we do unintentionally because we are unaware, and we are putting extra load on our body. So what does this extra load does? Like, again, going back to that, I sleep late and wake up late. I am putting extra load on my organs, whether it is liver, lungs, whatever, depending on the time and all. So suppose you have 100 unit of energy at your disposal. Either you can use most of it for your healing, or you make your body work, like overtime, like extra effort, and waste that energy just to come to the neutral position. What I mean is, suppose you drink, it's very common, people drink very cold water. Like, in fact, sometimes you will see the glass full of ice cubes. What are you doing? You're drinking very cold temperature, whether it's water, soda, whatever it is. So first your body has to warm it up, because all of a sudden it is below the body temperature. Now body is spending the energy to warm it up. If you don't drink that cold water, body doesn't need to spend that energy. So what will happen to that extra energy you have? It will be used for your healing. So this is what we mean by understanding how our body functions. And then we say, I'm doing so many hours of meditation, or I'm doing this, why still I'm tired or lack of energy? Doing meditation, beautiful, perfect. If we also ensure that we are not wasting the energy you are gaining by meditation, your healing will expedite. You will have better healing, faster healing. That's the point here. Any other question or any sharing anybody would like before we get to meditation, masters?
Yep, I don't think so that we have any more, and we can actually start the meditation, Gaurav sir.
Okay. Okay, Shivji. So, masters, let's get ready for meditation. We should have half an hour. Nice meditation. Energies are still high. We just had full moon. So, yes, even if it is some days, but let's make use of the group energy and extra energy in the universe. So please close your eyes. Maintain a gentle smile on your face. And let's do 7 slow breathing or deep breathing. If you know Anulom Vilom, you may do that, or 7 cycles of slow breathing. Exhale as slow as comfortable to you, and then inhale as slow as comfortable to you. This gives signal to our brain waves that we are safe, and it relaxes the brain and slows down the brain waves. Now, masters, your brain waves have slowed down. Let's relax the body. Relax your facial muscle, your cheeks. Keep maintaining a gentle smile on your face. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Relax your spine, your back. Just keep it relaxed. Relax your hands and legs, and keep them in cross position. Now, your mind is relaxed, your body is relaxed. Masters, before we get into deep meditation, let's place our affirmation in our subconscious mind. Feel it. Feel your affirmation. Feel the emotion as if your affirmation has already come true. Only for 1 minute. Feel the emotion, how you would feel, the gratitude, the joy when your affirmation has come true. Feel it. Now, masters, let's get into deep meditation. So no more thoughts, no more emotions, no more feelings. Let's start observing our breath. Let's get connected to our breath. So start observing your breath. As you inhale and as you exhale. Take your time. Relax. Maintain your normal, natural, soft breath. Don't worry about any thoughts. Just come back to your breath. When you do not spend any energy on your thoughts, when you don't entertain them, they will just fly away. This is the time we get connected to our inner self, with our soul, with our prana. Dear masters, let's rub our palms together. Place the fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly, very slowly open your eyes and come to your normal self.
Thank you, Guru sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yeah, Sridevi madam, you are unmuted. You can.
So thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Like last 4 weeks back, Wednesday, I was telling about my story that, I did not had a good day. So after on that day, you suggested some of the, tips. And then I have on that same day, I just took a shower and slept and then started writing my journal. Right. And the next day morning, I woke up and I started making a habit of writing. And then I think it's now 4 weeks. Now I see myself, so much traveled in 1 month. And today, when I'm doing the meditation, I just felt like if a toddler is learning walking, right? So everybody who is like a brother, sisters, or even like anybody comes and then they hold your hand to walk along. So I just feel this medium is spiritual tablets and all these masters is something like that, like they're just helping us to walk, by giving a hand. So thank you so much. And it's just heart touching. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shidiviji. Thanks for sharing.